I roasted pork tenderloin and broccoli in my sous vide. It didn't go exactly as I had planned, but hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes so you can make it better. In the end, it did turn out really delicious. There were just a couple of hiccups. So let's talk about what happened. The first thing I did was pull out the sous vide tray and put the roasting rack in with the handles face up. Then I pulled out my pork tenderloin. I bought a pre-seasoned one and I just dabbed it with paper towels to get rid of excess moisture. Put it in, put a little bit of extra salt and pepper on, and then that was basically it for the prep for that. So it was super simple. Then I put the broccoli into the other tray. I used frozen broccoli, which I know works in the sous vide because that's essentially what they give you with the meal kits. And I went ahead and put that into the other tray with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic just for flavor. You can put whatever seasonings you like on your broccoli. I put the pork into the bottom section and the broccoli into the top section. And I actually didn't realize until I was watching the footage back that I should have done this the other way around. So the pork should go on top and the broccoli should go on bottom. I'm not 100% sure why, but when you use the sous vide meal kits, they always have the veggies on the bottom and the meat or whatever main dish on the top. So there's probably a reason for this, and I probably should have done that. But for whatever reason, I didn't. And I think that's part of what didn't work. I roasted the pork tenderloin at 350 degrees for 35 minutes based on the package instructions on the specific meat that I bought. And then I roasted the broccoli for 30 minutes, also at 350 degrees. I did this based on Suvie's settings that they have for their frozen meals and the fact that I was using frozen broccoli. If you were using fresh broccoli, then you would do a little bit less time. After the 35 minutes had passed and the sous vide let me know that it was done, I checked the temperature of the pork using a meat thermometer and it just wasn't there, not even particularly close. So I used the continue cook button and cooked everything in the sous vide for an additional 5 minutes to get the pork fully cooked, and because I just like my broccoli a little bit more roasted when I make it. I did have to do an additional continue cook on the pork to get it to come up to the right temperature. So I just kept checking and then having it continue cook. And I had to do this a few times. So in the end, I would probably cook it at a higher temperature and for a longer time. I actually determined from this experience that I would probably just sous vide the pork in the future and then either finish it off in a pan or using the broil feature on the sous vide. Or you can use it to reheat already cooked pork. When I thought back on it after this experience, I realized that many of the sous vide preset meals come with already cooked pork, and that you're essentially just reheating it. And my guess is that there is something about pork that doesn't do super well with the bacon roast settings on the sous vide that is just not gonna cook them as fast as it cooks chicken. So in the end, I would say it's probably better if you're going to do a pork tenderloin in the sous vide to sous vide it, knowing you're gonna just have something that takes a little bit longer, and then finish it off with the broil setting or in a pan, and not necessarily roast it. But if you do decide to roast it, just go with the slightly higher temperature, put it in the top section, and maybe cook it a little bit longer than the package directions say. It actually turned out really tasty and delicious. I liked how it came out. It just took a lot longer than I was expecting. So now you can go into it expecting that longer cook time, plan for it, and have a really good meal cooked the way you want it when you want it. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'm sorry that not all of my recipes turn out perfectly every time, and this time you're getting to learn from my mistakes instead of seeing a perfectly cooked meal. If you like this video, please give me a like, and thanks for watching.